All right, so we are going to practice completing the square when the leading coefficient is not 1. So here's the other thing, is they have this structured in a way that's going to force you into the x plus something squared. So you have 4x squared minus 4x. Sorry that my camera's struggling to zoom or to focus. It's the fact that I don't have stuff written here yet. And it has, I'm going to go ahead and skip down here a little bit. Hopefully this is far enough. X plus something squared equals something. Now, there's a way that we could get to 4x squared, like by using 2x here, right, as our binomial. But since they don't give us that option, we have to go ahead and work within their constraints and say, well, okay, if I don't have like anything in front of the x here, I must not have this 4 here. So how do I get rid of that 4 there? I can divide everything by 4, right? So if I divide everything by 4, 0 divided by 4 isn't going to do anything, but I can get x squared minus x plus a fourth equals 0. Sorry, my equals kind of high up there. So then we're still thinking if this was a perfect square, right? So if this was, well, this is minus 1, really, if we want to fill it in. Remember that for a moment, we can ignore our constant. So for that momentary ignore, you can either just, forget about it, or you could move it over to the other side. Now, if I just forget about it for a moment, what I'm going to ask myself is what should be here if this was a perfect square equation? Well, to get the b value, now this is where the rules change, right? We have like a rule from last week. Sorry, there's something in between my papers. That tells me what to do here, but 1 is weird. Like squaring 1 and those sorts. So when we think about this c value, we're gonna come back to that. What did we say last week is kind of the trick for what goes here? Yeah, half of b, right? So half of b would be negative 1/2. And if we expand this to think about what's really going on here, so I'm going to go ahead and just write it as minus instead of writing plus the negative. So x squared, negative 1/2 x, negative 1/2 x gets my negative 1x. My last is the thing that makes completing the square so difficult. My last would be negative 1/2 times negative 1/2. Sorry, I was working off the screen. I did not realize I was off the screen. So I checked my x squared. I checked my negative 1x. Now my last is negative half times negative half. So negative times negative will be positive. And what we want is positive 1/4. So this constant up here should be a positive 1/4 for this to be a complete the square problem. Check what our constant that we have is. It is positive 1/4. So our constant doesn't actually need modified. It is what we want. So we could just go ahead and say x plus a negative 1/2 squared equals 0. Yeah, let's do another one that does need modified. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording and then find one that doesn't work out so nice.